Moses wasn't exactly all in when it came to doing the assignment that God asked him to do. As a matter of fact, he was living a good life. He was a shepherd, he had a wife, he had a couple of kids, and he had gotten away from problems. But lo and behold, the Lord God of Israel had a different plan for him. Anyway, let's get started. Chapter 5, Exodus. And, no, sorry, chapter 4, not chapter 5. And Moses answered and said, But, behold, they will not believe me, nor hearken unto my voice, for they will say, The Lord hath not appeared unto thee. And the Lord said unto him, What is that in thy hand? And he said, A rod. And he said, Cast it on the ground. And he cast it on the ground, and it became a serpent, and Moses fled from before it. And the Lord said unto Moses, Put forth thine hand, and take it by the tail. And he put forth his hand, and caught it, and it became a rod in his hand. That they may believe that the Lord God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, hath appeared unto thee. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, Put now thine hand in thy bosom, essentially inside of his pants, but not exactly pants. It's the clothing was different back in the days. They don't have the clothing that we have today. Where is it? Okay, at verse 6. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, Put now thine hand in thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. And he said, Put thine hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom, and, behold, it was turned again as his other flesh. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe thee, neither hearken to the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the later sign. That's the reason why God not only gave him the sign of the rod, but gave him the sign of the leprous hand in the bosom. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe... Sorry, that was... oh yeah, okay, we are doing verse 9. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe also these two signs, neither hearken unto thy voice, that thou shalt take of the water of the river, and pour it upon the dry land, and the water which thou takest out of the river shall become blood upon the dry land. And Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech, and of a slow tongue. I'm not exactly sure if he was making an excuse, or he was actually verbally disabled, for lack of a better term. But he was trying to get out of this assignment, obviously, that God had appointed him to do. Verse 11, And the Lord said unto him, Who hath made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb, or deaf, or seeing, or the blind? Have not I the Lord? Now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say. And he said, O my Lord, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him whom thou wilt send. And the anger of the Lord was getting pissed off at Moses. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses. And he said, Is not Aaron the Levite thy brother? I know that he can speak well, and also, behold, he cometh forth to meet thee. And when he seeth thee, he will be glad in his heart. And thou shalt speak unto him, and put words in his mouth. And I will be with thy mouth, and with his mouth, and will teach you what ye shall do. And he shall be thy spokesman unto the people, and he shall be, even he shall be to thee instead of a mouth, and thou shalt be to him instead of a god. And thou shalt take this rod in thy hand, wherewith thou shalt do signs. Excuse me. Verse 18. And Moses went and returned to Jethro his father-in-law, and said unto him, Let me go, I pray thee, and return unto my brethren, which are in Egypt, and see whether they be yet alive. And Jethro said unto Moses, Go in peace. And the Lord said unto Moses in Midian, Go, return into Egypt, for all the men are dead which sought thy life. And Moses took his wife and his sons, and set them upon an ass, and he returned to the land of Egypt. I don't think this name of the second son was mentioned. And Moses took the rod of God in his hand. And Moses took the rod of God in his hand. And the Lord said unto Moses, When thou goest to return into Egypt, see that thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which have put in thine hand. But I will harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, Thus saith the Lord, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. And I say unto thee, Let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn. Though Moses has not said these words to Pharaoh yet, because he hasn't met him yet, this is prophetic of what's going to happen towards the end. Verse 24, and it came to pass by the way in the end that the Lord met him and sought to kill him. Now this is interesting, a twist in the story. The Lord was fixing to kill Moses, and you'll hear shortly why. Then Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet and said, Surely a bloody husband art thou to me. So he let him go. Then she said, A bloody husband thou art, because of the circumcision. Now, he didn't say sons. I guess he only circumcised the one son. And the Lord said to Aaron, Go into the wilderness to meet Moses. And he went and met him in the mount of God and kissed him. And Moses told Aaron all the words of the Lord who had sent him, and all the signs which he had commanded him. And Moses and Aaron went and gathered together all the elders of the children of Israel. And Aaron spake all the words which the Lord had spoken unto Moses, and did the signs in the sight of the people. And the people believed, and when they heard that the Lord had visited the children of Israel, and that he had looked upon their affliction, then they bowed their heads and worshipped. And that, brothers and sisters, concludes chapter 4 of the book of Exodus. This is a very exciting, I love this story because the hand of God comes down on the Egyptians, and many miracles and signs and wonders will be seen throughout this book in the story of Exodus that are marvelous. And there's actually evidence to this day. Sorry, the battery's about to dead. And there's evidence to this day that these things did come to pass. But that's besides the point. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. And peace of the Lord be with you guys, and I'll see you next time.